Hello and welcome back to the Pottery Corner, my studio down on the south coast of England near Chichester. I'm Sarah Amos. Welcome along everybody. We're going to do another glaze kiln fire opening today. The kiln is down to ambient temperature, which is 19 degrees centigrade. And you know the sneakiest of sneakies. So I'm just going to turn the kiln supply off. I have had, obviously, the sneaky of sneakiests as ever. So up with the kiln lid. Now, first thing out of this kiln's actually mine, which is unusual, as my regular viewers will know. So this is a very simple bowl thrown on the wheel in my stoneware clay body, which comes out this sort of lovely creamy colour. And then I've started having a little go at confetti glazing, which I think is what it's being called on Instagram. So this is my take on confetti glazing, which confetti glazing doesn't sound very interesting, so I'm calling it hundreds and thousands, which I thought was quite a good name for it. So yes, this is my hundreds and thousands glaze, and of course you can never get the same combination twice. So each piece in this glaze combination will be unique. So I'll show you. I am the saddest person when it comes to waste. I hate waste of any sort. So we don't throw any clay away, and even now we dry the glaze on the mats and collect the chips, so it doesn't even get mopped up with a cloth and put down the sink. So in this little pot, which I hope you can see, is a disgusting mess of glaze bits. It really doesn't look anything very much, but this would go down the sink if I didn't scrape it up and put it in this pot. What a disgusting thing. Anyway, so this is my little pot of glazed chips. And then what I do is dip this into my Mayco stoneware transparent glaze, the clear glaze that I use. And whilst it is still slightly wet, I use, literally like salt and pepper, just sprinkle the glazed chips from this little pot into this bowl. So you can see that my colour palette is mostly blues and greens, but if you look closely, and I hope that the camera will pick it up, there are little flashes of red and pink, and there's even a little bit of olivey colour up the top here. And I just think it's really nice that you get this difference of glaze colours, and each piece is unique. So hundreds and thousands glaze, what do you think? Tell me in the comments, what do you think? Good idea? It got quite a good review at the art trail, so people liked it. But as I say, you don't have very much control over it, unless, I suppose, if you were particularly sad and you had greys and blues confetti glazed chips and then you kept your reds and pinks in a separate pot. I suppose you could do that, but life's a little bit too short in my opinion. So yeah, I'm quite liking that. So let me know in the comments below what you think. What you think of the hundreds and thousands glaze. Very easy to do, and obviously in our days of actually not being able to get hold of glazes, it's quite a good idea to save as much as we possibly can. Right, let me just take that prop out. Now this, I was just having a little, keeping on the same thing of the hundreds and thousands glaze. I've only ever really used it in bowls, because obviously you've got the sides for the glazes to melt down. But I thought I'd give it a go I've just made this little vase. In fact, I was using it as a demonstrator for something else. So, I mean, I'm sure I'll put some sweet peas or something in it, and it's quite sweet. But as you can see, done in the same way, but because the glaze is on the outside and not on a nice surface that it can drape down, it's not been so successful. It doesn't come out so dark. I might try putting a few more chips on that and refiring it, because I think it's got potential to be good. But clearly the big chunks that sort of stay round the rim of the bowl have not stayed on this. So, work in progress. But anyway, we live and learn, as you know, with us potters. There are loads and loads and even more loads of pieces made by Janet. Janet recently went into a place where they had some interesting windows, a bit like sort of cathedral windows, you know, carved, which would have had a mirror at the back to hang up in the garden. But the mirror was broken and the man said, just take them, you're welcome to have them. So she did, and she's making part mosaic, part pottery backings for these windows that are like cathedrals. So she's making, and I mean loads. Now this has been done with an orange underglaze. I make my own underglaze colours, as you know, in the studio. And then she's put Marigold over the top and our friend Palladium in the middle. Look at that. I mean, it looks like a marigold. I think that's probably what she thought they would come out like. Really lovely. That Palladium in the centre has come out really nice. And the marigold over the yellow has given it a really lovely rich tone. So you'll be seeing lots and lots of bits coming out of this kiln. And of course, what the lovely thing about them is that they're all underneath the bigger bits, so haven't wasted any space in the kiln. And this is the sun, so that's going on the montage somewhere. And again, that is a yellow underglaze from the studio with Amaco Marigold over the top. I'll do a big piece now because all the other little bits are underneath. Right, so this is Annette's bird bath. Now Annette came on a course that her son paid for her to do for her Christmas present, so she came and did that. And she's just come back to do the glazing because she's been away. So this is a craft crank bird bath, which has a stand, which I think might be further down, so we might get to the stand. And the glaze combination on here, this is Amaco's Cobalt on the back. Probably a bit patchy. No, I'm going to say needed another coat. And inside is Amaco's Downpour, so slightly paler blue, more successfully. And the colours on the bits inside, this on the oak leaves is Amaco Pear. We did the bees in white clay, and then she's painted them in marigold and obsidian and snow on the wings, snow on the flowers, and Snapdragon, I think that one is there. So when she did this, she did the colours on the appliqued pieces, then put wax resist over, and then painted the blue. So quite successful, really pretty little piece. And obviously Annette's not done more than one course of 4 sessions, so to have made that, she did really well. So well done, Annette, that's come out nicely. I hope that looks nice in your garden. Right, more bits of Janet, and some of these I might find have stuck to cookies. Luckily that one not. That's the moon. She's split it up into seasons and moon phases and all that type of thing. So in a really interesting project. As we know, Janet makes these lovely insects. So in this case, these are palladium worms, palladium earthworms. Actually, they're really sweet. Look at those. So that's another bit that's going on to the montage. And then these are, oh, look at these. Snowflakes. Look at those. Very delicate. Which have snow on them. Rather lovely. So those will stand out if they're on a darker grout background. There's a few of those on a cookie to keep them all together. Just going to get rid of these cookies in here, out of the way. There we go. And then the only other thing on this particular shelf, last time we were looking at some new glazes, and we were talking about the scarceness of Amaco's Celadon and Amaco Potter's Choice glazes. So I've sort of branched out a little bit. And I found some Amaco glazes that were called Sahara and Celebrations. If you didn't see the discussion on that, if you have a look at last time's video, which is I'm back, where have I been? So that's that one if you wanted to have a look on there, and I'll just show you a couple of glazes that I've bought. So I thought I would have a play with layering them with some of the Potter's Choice and see what we got. So this particular tile is the two glazes that we were looking at in the last video, Baby Blue, which was a Celebrations Amaco, and Sahara. The Sahara one was called Turquoise, which is a matte turquoise. Yeah, it kind of sort of works. It's got this sort of slightly funny finish to it. It's trying to be matte, but it's also trying to be gloss, so that's quite interesting. It's a bit of a lighter turquoise than the turquoise on its own, so quite interesting. Be quite interesting to see. Now this one is the Baby Blue with Amaco's Arctic Blue over the top. Now, Arctic Blue, you'll have heard me say, yuck! What a disgusting glaze. I don't know what Amaco are doing, but it always goes like lava on my pots. I think I probably fire too high for it, and it's ghastly. The only time I've ever had Amaco Arctic Blue come out nicely is when I've used it over the top of Amaco's Iron Yellow. So that's here, jury out for me. Yeah, I think jury's out for me on that one. But it's quite interesting. I was trying to use up the Arctic Blue, which I don't suppose I shall be too worried if I never see it again. But, you know, you have to try these things. Right, shelf out. Let's get rid of that. And we'll get the props out. Oh, there's lots of test tiles in this layer, and actually I can already see some lovely colours, so that's interesting. We shall see what we've got. Get rid of the props. This is a beautiful hydrangea head made by Gill. So that's been made with porcelain, hand built, and it's to go on a cane in the garden, so a stick. And it can go into your flower pots or whatever. And she's used a little bit of Amaco's Jade just in these little marks that she's made in the flowers, and then wiped it back. And actually, that's really lovely soft green, very pretty. And then over the top, we've got Amaco's Mixing Clear, the brush-on Mixing Clear. I do use Mayco's stoneware clear dipping if I've got big pieces, but for a delicate piece like this we use the Mixing Clear, Amaco's Mixing Clear. Beautiful. Yeah, I'm sure Jill will be very pleased with that one. Very nice. This is Holly's platter, or one of Holly's platters. Oh, let's take the cookie off the back. I'll just have to be a little bit careful of that. It's just caught on the glaze, if you can see that. So I'll just mind my fingers. This is Mayco's Raspberry Mist. Again, jury's out for me on that one as well. Not sure that I'm overly enamoured. But on the front we have Dancing Fish. Rather nice. So the turquoise is the Amaco Sahara Torquoise, which is the matte turquoise, with the raspberry mist on the fishes with little obsidian black eyes. That's bright. I mean, you're not going to miss that on a table, are you? But actually, I quite like it. I quite like the animation of the dancing fish. Looks like something off of Mary Poppins. That bit in the middle when they do supercalifragilistic. Yeah, really nice. So, yeah. All right, let's have a look at some of these test tiles. Some of these are very interesting. Okay, so this again is the Amaco Sahara Torquoise with Mayco's Sea Salt. So turquoise ×2 and sea salt ×2. Yummy, yummy, yummy. But it has got a bit of a funny surface. If I wind that backwards and forwards, hope you can see. It's kind of semi-matte. Quite like that. It's quite nice. Quite nice. Sea salt is a matte Mayco glaze, and the turquoise is a matte glaze. But the two of them together have got this, I'll call it soft sheen. Yeah, quite nice, but a lovely colour. Beautiful sort of jade colour. Some are quite good and some aren't. This one is in the latter of those two. This is the turquoise, again, the Sahara Torquoise, with textured, Amaco's Potter's Choice textured turquoise, 2 coats of each. Yeah, that one didn't work so well, really. Looks a bit like tourmaline, but worse than tourmaline. So, yeah, not so good. Let's have a look. What's this one? That's interesting. So this one is the Baby Blue, Amaco Celebrations Baby Blue ×2 with Amaco Potter's Choice Blue Stone ×2. That's nice. It's almost come out the same colour as the Potter's Choice, the Celadon Cobalt. But actually it's quite nice, quite like that. Quite nice, not bad. I think these are Janet's test tiles. That one is Jess's Chun Blue. I don't quite know what that one is. She's layering some things for her project, so I'm not sure what all of them are. Let's see, what's that one? Oh, yuck. That is Cobalt. So it's the Celadon Amaco Cobalt with turquoise over the top, which is 2 coats of each. Nasty, got a nasty surface if I twist that tile. Hope you can pick that up. Yeah, shan't be using that one. Nasty, nasty. This one is quite pretty. That one is Baby Blue with textured turquoise over the top. Quite like that. That's more successful. Quite like the green on there. Quite nice. In fact, it's nicer than the turquoise with the textured turquoise. So this one is Baby Blue with textured turquoise, and this one is the matte turquoise with textured turquoise. And I think you can see which one we'll like out of those two. Next, this is Baby Blue ×2 with Seaweed ×2. I love Amaco Seaweed because it does different things, but I have to say that I have tiles upstairs that look very similar to that. But nonetheless, it's a nice tile. This one is pretty. So that is Amaco's Celadon Cobalt ×2 with Baby Blue ×2 over the top. I love the way that has sat in the texture on the tile. I suspect you would only get that effect if you had a flat textured item, but very nice. Might do a little bit more with that and see where that one goes to. This one is again ghastly. This is turquoise ×2 with Amaco's Potter's Choice Indigo Float over the top. Again, it's got a nasty surface. And I think that happens quite a lot when you're trying to mix a gloss glaze with a matte glaze. So yeah, no, that's a definite no-no for me. This one's very similar. Oh, it's very similar to the other one. Oh no, it's not. So these two are very similar, as you can see, because I thought they were the same, but actually they're not. So this was the Cobalt and Baby Blue, and this one is Baby Blue and Indigo Float. So 2 coats of Baby Blue and 2 coats of Indigo Float over the top. Very similar, but subtly different. Quite nice, both of those. Quite like those. This one again, not successful. This is turquoise with blue stone over the top. Matte, very matte. And again, not a particularly nice surface. It is matte, but it feels, yeah, nasty. Don't like that. And then I was doing a test tile to see what the turquoise looked like on my craft crank clay. So the clay that I use outside. Actually, it's quite nice. Quite like that. Very nice. Yeah, it goes well, and it shows the texture as well. Yeah, that's really nice. I've got some willow bases that I'm working on. That'll be a video in the future. So this one is Baby Blue ×2 with sea salt ×2. Yeah, that one's quite nice. And the sea salt, the bits in the sea salt have caused a sort of a reaction there. Quite like that. That's nice. The blue's nice too. Yeah, that's successful. I might have another go at that and see what happens. This one's not so successful. In fact, it's ghastly. Turquoise ×2 with seaweed ×2 over. Yeah, the seaweed didn't do anything spectacular on that one. It just made a nasty mess. So, yeah, that one's a no. And this one's also a no. Although it's quite a nice colour. This one is turquoise ×2. Haha. no surprise. Arctic Blue, my least favourite glaze. Yeah, not done it. Shame really, because it's quite a nice colour, like a denim blue. But yeah, no, I'm not sure that I particularly like that one. Don't know what you think. Let me know. Let me know in the comments which ones you like. Quite interesting. It's interesting to do these test tiles. And that's a tile that Janet's done with some of the underglazes underneath so that she can see how they come out before she uses them on her piece. Next shelf. Okay, so let's see what we've got in here. This is the base to Annette's bird bath. So that's been done in Amaco's Cobalt again. So if I get the bird bath and just pop it on the top, you can see it put together. So it balances on the top of the stand. So quite nice really. Yeah, I'm sure that Annette will be pleased with that. And I'll let her know that it's ready. Now the last things in the kiln are from a throwing session that I did with some new potters. So we'll have a look at those. These are Justine's. This is Amaco's Marigold. So this is thrown using, I've just changed my throwing clay from Earthstone Original to, and it's on the shelf and I shall have to look at it. It is called PB 103. Catchy title. So it's fine white stoneware and actually it throws nearly like porcelain. So it feels like you've got that lovely double cream feel when you're throwing, but it's not as naughty as porcelain. So actually this is quite interesting. Yeah, very nice, quite like that. And I did the handle because they come and do the throwing and then I do the trimming and what have you. But yeah, a nice little mug, isn't that sweet? Yeah, so that's Amaco's Marigold. And hers are, this is again Justine's. This is Jess's Chun Blue, which is that lovely light blue. I like it. It's nice, pretty colour. And again, she threw the pot and I did the mug. Nice handle, even if I do say so myself. And then the last one of Justine's is Amaco Marigold on the outside and Jess's Chun Blue on the inside. Sweet, sweet. And she managed to get some shape into it, seeing as she's never thrown before. So well done, Justine. She's coming back for another go in September. See, once they start, they just can't stop. So it'll be lovely to see you again. Thank you for coming. Right, next is Bev's. And again, Bev's came with her friend, Jane, whose husband bought her the session for her birthday. So this is Mayco's Raspberry Mist. Actually, I did the glazing on this, and the Raspberry Mist is a much nicer colour than the Raspberry Mist that is on the back of Holly's Platter. And I think it's probably I did 3 really good coats, and I think Holly probably spread hers too far. It probably could have done with another coat because it's quite nice when it's thick enough. It goes this nice sort of raspberry pink colour. Pretty, yeah, very pretty. So that's the first of Bev's. Next, this one is, this is Bev's again. This one is Amaco's Light Sepia, and it's sort of like a taupe colour. Quite nice, quite like that. That's another good one. And next is, this is Sapphire Float. So Amaco's Sapphire Float. I have to say we've got a bit of warpage on this one because this is Bev's again. They will touch pots when the wheel isn't turning, and if you do that it puts them off centre. So yes, we have a little bit of warpage on this one, but nonetheless a nice pot. And as I say, that one is Sapphire Float. I think I just said blue sapphire, but it's Sapphire Float anyway. Amaco's Sapphire Float, quite nice. Yeah, not bad. And last 3 in here are Jane's. This one is Snow on the inside, Amaco Snow, and again Sapphire Float on the outside. Again, it's a good glaze Sapphire Float. It's quite nice. You have sort of bits of interest actually on the pot itself. If you have a look at the glaze as it goes around, it's quite nice, quite like that. Lovely. And then we've got snow on the inside. That one's got a little bit of blow from the kiln. Actually, I quite like that actually. And that is Mayco's eggplant on the back. And again, that's another glaze that I've bought in because I've not been able to get hold of Amaco. Quite like that. If it's put on properly, it's a nice glaze. So that's, as I say, Amaco's eggplant. Nice. And the last pot is this one again is Jane's. That's snow on the inside and Amaco's aqua on the outside. Pretty, that aqua, like that. There's just two more things in the bottom of the kiln, which again are just test tiles on my craft crank clay. That one is Amaco's Wasabi, because obviously the glazes do come out a different colour when the clay body is a different colour. So I do test tiles in all the clays, different types of clay that I use. So that one is Amaco Celadon Glaze Wasabi, which again is very good. And this is red iron oxide. So I've used a red iron oxide wash on the texture and wiped it back and put transparent glaze over the top to see what it would do. Actually, I quite like that. It's almost like pencil drawing on the texture. So yeah, that one's pretty good too. So that's information for me. Right, that's your lot in the kiln. Glasses on for you shout outs today. Let's have a look and see what we've got. So this one is from Mary Fisher. And she is in Florida. Hello, Mary. Very nice to see you. Thank you for sending me your picture. This is a beautiful poppy head. And Mary has said she wanted to share her first poppy head. It will be part of her first totem pole. What a good idea, putting those on the totem pole. So well done, Mary. Lovely texture on there. I like the pearl necklace bobbles, those are nice, and the glaze is very nice, very good all round. So thank you, Mary Fisher, for sending me that. Always lovely to get your work. I had an interesting question from Lewis Mancho, I think it's Mancho, might be Manco, who asked me, this is an interesting question and one that I sort of thought about before I replied to. So he says, having watched some of your very useful tutorials and being a keen novice to pottery art, I wonder if I could ask you a question. Yes, you're very welcome to do that. I have bisque fired a small item which I decorated with slip, but it didn't come out the colour that I had expected, and I wonder if by underglazing over the slip colour I would be able to cover the latter or not, or would it turn out a bit messy, i.e. not defined colours either way. Very interesting question, Lewis, and one which I sort of thought about. I guess in my reply to you, I said something along the lines of, well, you've not lost anything if you do put something over the top of slip. And actually, I think you would be probably better off using a coloured glaze over the slip. You're still going to see the slip underneath, but if you put a coloured glaze over the top of it, you'll disguise the actual colour of the slip itself. I think if you try putting an underglaze over the slip, not sure about that. I'm not sure how successful that would be. If anybody's tried it out there in my wonderful YouTube viewer community and want to make a comment for Lewis to pick up, then please do. But my general opinion was actually what I would do if I didn't like it would be to cover the colour of the slip with a coloured glaze to try and soften it or, you know, make it into a slightly different colour. So interesting scenario. Thank you for that, Lewis. As I say, anybody got any ideas, pop it in the comments. Always interesting to hear. And the last one, glasses back on, the last one is from Wilma Wofford, or Wofford. So she's finally completed her poppy head. It took me forever to decide on glaze colours. You and me both, Wilma. Sometimes I leave things on the side for ages because I want to sort of feel what colour I want to put on them. So this one is River Rock 3 coats, Snow halfway down. I ought to show you the picture while I'm reading this out. So this is Wilma's poppy head, which actually is lovely, beautiful sheen on it. So this is River Rock, Amaco's River Rock 3 coats, Snow halfway down with 3 coats, Oatmeal on the ribs halfway down and on the petals. So very successful glaze, I would say, Wilma. Very, very nice. And she says thanks for your wonderful tutorial. So thank you for watching, Wilma. It's always lovely, lovely, lovely to see other people's take on the poppy head tutorial. And if you haven't found that yet and you're new to my channel, check out the playlist. There's 3 videos on how to make sculptural poppy heads. So yeah, that's a real goodie. Lovely. Right, so that is your lot for today. Short but sweet. Very nice to be back. Very nice to have all your lovely comments every time. Do let us know if there's anything you're working on. Always happy to do shout outs with photos, so email them. My email address is in the description below. And I shall see you all on the next one. Bye for now.